Hello, and welcome back to the Lounge Pokemon Draft League Season 1 Battle Breakdown, the series where we briefly dissect and discuss the battles from each week, featuring and pointing out any highlights, upsets, or major plays during these games. This is Kyle from Team Latif, and today I'll be watching a Week 3 matchup between Ben and myself. This is the first battle where someone will be breaking down their own game. I'm just doing this to make sure we get all the battles in before we start moving on to Week 4 battles. So, if you weren't aware, our draft that we did broke the Pokemon down to tiers. We got 2 Pokemon from OU, which is the most used Pokemon in Showdown singles. We got 2 from UU, 2 from RU, NU, and PU. And Ben has brought a PU Pokemon each time, I believe. His Greedent here is in the PU tier, and he's brought that each time. I also elected to bring Ice-Q, which is also a PU Pokemon, and I drafted Ice-Q specifically for Ben. You'll see why I did that as we go into this battle. So starting off, I knew Ben was running a Trick Room team, and a lot of special attackers here. Well, not many special attackers, I mean. Only Bronzong and Slowking. All the rest were physical, which let me bring an Ice-Q to tank a hit with Ice Face. So I was expecting a Trick Room turn 1, so I go for Belly Drum, maxing my attack, healing with the Citrus Berry. He decides to go with the Shadow Ball. It only dealt 13%. Now, I have a super strong Ice-Q against a Bronzong that doesn't look to be invested too much in offense. So I start swinging here, dealing 86%, Trick Room goes up, but Ice-Q actually ended up moving first in Trick Room anyway. So I'm just going to be dealing massive damage here, because with the Ice Face, Ice-Q is pretty slow. Iron Head will break the Ice Face, and now I got a really fast Ice-Q, which will move faster than this Earthworm. But in Trick Room means that, unfortunately for me, Earthworm is going to move first. But I did take out one of Ben's special attackers here, which is also one of his 2 Trick Room setters. And for a Trick Room team, that's pretty crucial. I also did a lot of damage to this Earthworm, and he is not in Shed Tail range anymore. So pretty good for a PU Pokemon. I bring in Donphan. I have to be aware of the ability since Sandveil is banned, I believe. Yeah, because evasion. But I cannot use Earthquake because of Earth Eater. That'll just heal him. So I use Knockoff. Knocking off his Assault Vest, but it's not going to kill him quite yet. Trick Room runs out, so he gets one more turn. Doesn't deal a ton of damage. And Knockoff is going to do the rest. Now he brings in Slowking, and this is a pretty good matchup against this Donphan. This is other special attacker as well as Trick Room setter, but Water is super effective against ground. I have revealed Knockoff though, but you'll see why Ben wasn't too afraid of it. I use Knockoff, but the Colbur Berry, very smart here. It's going to reduce the damage from the Dark type attack, as well as the knockoff boost doesn't apply, since there was no item to knock off because he ate the berry before the damage was dealt. Very smart play by Ben. And he's going to use that turn to set up Trick Room. That means his Slowking is going to move before my Donphan, but I had another trick up my sleeve. Terrestrialize to Water type, so that way whatever Water type move he uses is now going to be pretty ineffective. Gets the Chilling Water, gonna lower the attack, but Knockoff, super effective, still gonna do a lot of damage. Take another round of that, not too much damage. Still able to survive. Going for an Ice Beam, which was interesting. Didn't do quite as much, maybe hoping for a freeze there. I guess not the worst play, but 16% on the first Chilling Water, 17% on the next Chilling Water. I guess that did more somehow. I guess Ice Beam is just that much stronger. But this Knockoff will do it. Now only one turn of Trick Room left, and it's pretty much going to be wasted because I have a really weak Donphan here. So now that's going to mean that I'm pretty much going to go first for the rest of the battle. Greedent will get the Body Slam kill, but now Trick Room is done, and it's a 4v3. 3 really slow Pokemon, all physical attackers too, and I brought in Volcarona. And he's going to switch out of there. Bug Buzz is going to deal a ton of damage to Mudsdale. This was actually a Choice Specs Volcarona. I had 4 coverage moves, and I was just going to be really mindful of any setup or hazards. But since there weren't any, I could switch this in without taking 50%. Stamina going to kick in, but not going to do anything because this thing will outspeed his entire team. Brings in Clodsire. At this point, I was thinking that Volcarona had already done its job. I just wanted to pop the balloon. Bug Buzz even quad resist 29% on a Stall Master here. It's not bad. And then Rock Slide 4 times effective, but I lived the attack. I couldn't believe this. It was a bulky Volcarona, I believe, a physical defensive Volcarona that I made. And at this point, I went into Goldengo, and I believe this is a Choice Specs Goldengo that I brought. I thought that there would be another Rock Slide, and it tanked it beautifully. And now I use Trick, Choice Specs Clodsire, and that's basically going to cripple this thing. Earthquake, going to deal a lot of damage to Goldengo, but I do have the Flying type Salamence in the back. So Choice Specs into Earthquake. Ben realizes this and switches back into Greedent. Intimidate is revealed, so this is not a Moxie set. Hurricane, going to deal 50%, so I'm running a special Salamence here, trying to catch Ben off guard. And a funny thing about this, I ran lower accuracy moves, but I ran Zoom Lens as the item. Unfortunately, I was really dumb, and Zoom Lens increases your accuracy by 1.2 if you move second. So in Trick Room that would have been fine, but now I'm just completely wasting an item, basically. I should have done Wide Lens, which is just 1.1 accuracy, because I had Fire Blast as well, which you'll see coming up. Stuffed Cheeks here, gonna increase his physical defense, but again, special attackers. All 4 remaining were special attackers, so that's not gonna do too much. Fire Blast, I did that even though it was weaker, no stab, higher accuracy, and maybe a burn. Body Slam gets the Paralyze, but isn't too much hope here for Ben. Fire Blast is gonna hit. Now at this point, I could have choked. Even though this is still Choice Specs, it still would have been really bad if I messed up. I end up going for Hydro Pump here. Now, I forgot that this thing could get Water Absorbed. You usually just see it run unaware, because that's the main selling point of this Pokemon, is it can go unaware and break through sweepers, so just ignore the stat boosts. But it can also run Water Absorb. So if this was Water Absorb and it healed and this, say, killed me with a Rock Slide, I would have been in more trouble. I would have had to switch in a low health Goldengo or hope that Gardevoir would have been able to do some work. I had a low percent Volcarona. I still think I would have been fine, but it would have definitely made me look like a fool. Thankfully, I get the crit. It was not Water Absorb. And the Hydro Pump, which I brought specifically for this in Mudsdale, able to get the job done. Now all we have is the Greedent left, and Ben just has to hope for a miracle here. Maybe he can get the Paralyze. But unfortunately for him, it's not going to happen, and that is going to be it. The Hurricane going to finish it off with the Stab, Special Attacking Salamence, and that'll do it for one of the more one-sided battles that we've seen so far. Not too much that Ben did really wrong, I would say. He did let me set up Ice-Q, let me set up Belly Drum, which when you see an Ice-Q, that's really all it can do. I mean, I guess it could run a Snowscape Ice Face set where you stall, but he didn't really do too much. Couldn't really do too much better, I think. I think I just had a really good matchup here. Did the research and just kind of overwhelmed Ben. Trick Room teams are tough. When you're slow and your Trick Room setters are gone, it can be really tough to make a comeback. That just goes to show that when you have a lot of slow Pokemon, you gotta make sure that they're not all weak to similar things. That's gonna do it for this battle. Let me know what you thought of the self-analysis here. A little bit more insight to what I was thinking and my sets. But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.